Good evening. I would like to call to order the October 15th, 2018 Lake Washington School Board meeting. At first, I'll entertain a motion to approve the October 15th agenda.
Move approval?
Second.
It has been moved by Director Carlson and seconded by Director Sage that we approve the agenda. All those in favor, please signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. And now we have the consent agenda. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Director Carlson and seconded by Director La Liberty that we approve the consent agenda. Jane, will you poll the board?
Yes. Cassandra? Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes, ma'am.
Siri?
Yes. And Dr. Staven, could you please review the donations that were on the consent agenda?
Sure can.
Thank you.
First of all, in the amount of $2,496.56 from Lake Washington Schools Foundation to Franklin Elementary School for the purchase of two-way radios. From Lake Washington Schools Foundation to Lake Washington School District in the amount of $20,589 to support 2018 summer school scholarships. From the Foundation to Lake Washington School District in the amount of $95,000 to support AVID, Lynx, and 2019 summer school scholarships. Louisa May Alcott Elementary PTSA to Alcott Elementary for $8,524.90 to provide fee waivers for students in need and stipends for running, cup stacking, drama and choir clubs, and PTSA teacher liaison. Paige A. Thompson to Carson Elementary School in the amount of $1,131.10 to purchase classroom supplies. From Explorer Parent Association to Explorer Elementary in the amount of $2,508 to purchase eMass Elementary Mobile Access for Students devices. Juanita Elementary PTA to Juanita Elementary School for $4,877.94 to support outdoor education. Margaret Mead Elementary PTSA to Mead Elementary School for $7,251 to provide stipends for recess games, organizer, math club, Raz Kids, administrative support, and Operations School Bell. Audrey Deppner, Usborne Books and More to Muir Elementary School in the amount of $1,200 to purchase library books. John Muir Elementary PTSA to Muir Elementary School for $11,300 to provide academic enrichment and support choir. Norman Rockwell PTA to Rockwell Elementary School, the amount of $16,437.60 to provide bus transportation for field trips and stipends for running club, webmaster, outdoor education, and choir. Carl Sandburg PTSA to Sandburg Elementary School for $13,616.05 to provide stipends and bus transportation for outdoor education. Samantha Smith Elementary PTSA to Smith Elementary School for $3,534 to purchase classroom supplies and library supplies. Inglewood Middle School PTSA to Inglewood Middle School, $5,200 to purchase Worldly Wise i3000 subscriptions. Eastlake Girls Basketball Booster Club to Eastlake High School for $3,062.57 to provide extra coaching hours. Eastlake Boys Basketball Booster Club to Eastlake High School for $1,757.96 to provide extra coaching hours. Eastlake High School PTSA to Eastlake High School for $3,800 to support Math Lab. Eastlake Cheer Booster Club to Eastlake High School for $2,397.30 to provide stipend for assistant cheer coach. Juanita High School PTSA to Juanita High School for $1,013.91 to purchase classroom supplies. Redmond High Football Boosters to Redmond High School for $2,126.85 to provide bus transportation. Tesla STEM PTSA to Tesla STEM High School for $4,500 to support extracurricular activities and graduation ceremony, for a grand total of very generous donations in the amount of $212,324.74 generously given to our schools.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all our donors from the foundations and our PTSAs. That's fabulous in being able to support our students. So moving on, the last thing we have is an item on the non-consent agenda, which is the approval of the monitoring report for literacy and language. So just sort of as a reminder, that was sent in the board packet, and that's a summary of the discussion that we held at the meeting 2 weeks ago, and will be included with the final ER2 monitoring report. So I'm going to let Dr. Stavum go ahead and take this, and then we'll open up for discussion.
Yep. And I don't have too many comments, but I think there were some things noted that we're already paying some significant attention to just in terms of our achievement gaps. And so we want to continue to analyze our data in some of the different ways. We're looking at growth over time as well as proficiency, and I've talked with Tim Krieger, and they are just developing some different ways of pulling our data that I think will be helpful to us. I also think that we continue to see some of the gaps that maybe could be closed if we begin focusing on early childhood programming. I think that's an area for consideration for future action in our district. Some of the things that I'm looking at as a new superintendent also kind of are highlighted just a bit in terms of alignment and fidelity and all of the things that we want to see in just good, solid instruction. I think we've had some really good professional learning opportunities already this year for teachers to be refining skills with our SIOP model and some of the other supports that we have for our new teachers in really making sure that we've got good, solid teaching and learning happening in all of our classrooms. I think the work that's been started in our district with equity and opportunity plays very well to some of the things that we also need to begin analyzing even more closely with instructional practices in our classrooms and continuing to look at ways that we can make sure we're not placing unnecessary barriers in the way of our students and really looking closely at our practices so that we give every student the opportunity that they need to be successful in school. We do note, of course, what we know about reading proficiency by third grade, so I noted that in here, and really looking at how do we make sure students are making adequate progress over time, knowing that there are some very critical points that we come up to that after those points, it becomes increasingly more difficult to help students be good readers. And we want to make sure that every student is achieving at that level so that they don't continue to have more problems as they progress on through the rest of elementary and into middle and high school. So I think there were good things noted in here. I think we're all in alignment in the areas that we want to particularly continue paying close attention to and make sure that we have all the right supports in place to continue improving in those areas.
Excellent, thank you. So is there any discussion at this point?
Just a comment. I really appreciated the colored graph. It helps me to look at a glance, and I know we've said this before, but the colored graph really helps to look at a glance and see exactly where each category is at. Thank you.
I just wanted to comment that, again, I'm proud that in terms of overall performance among our comparable districts, we're right at the top. I'm also convinced that we can do better. So it's an opportunity.
I was going to make a motion.
Okay,
I move that the board approve the ER2 literacy monitoring report and the assertion of progress and exception form as presented in the board packet, to be clear.
do I hear a second?
I'll second it, conditional on him not reading it next time. But yes.
That came from the heart.
Just giving you a hard time.
Is there any additional discussion on the motion?
I just think it is worthy of noting that our district does have very, very high achievement, and we need to recognize the work that goes into that for our classroom teachers every single day. And I think It's always a challenge, no matter what your starting point is, because it still needs to be every student, and we have to keep our eyes on that. But we do have much to also be very, very proud of.
Hearing no further discussion. Let's go into my next page, sorry. It has been moved by Director La Liberty and seconded by Director Carlson that we approve the monitoring report and the assertion of progress and exception form for literacy. All those in favor, please signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. So with that, we will continue. So this will then feed into the other reports we have coming through, and then we'll be able to do a whole annual evaluation with all of this. Some of that work there, as Dr. Staven had mentioned, we'll be looking at how we build some of that into the work sessions coming up. So some of those pieces of early learning, that would likely be a piece that we'll put into a work session and looking through some of those, as well as we spoke to being able to break out type of disability and least restrictive environment and trying to be able to work through that. So we'll work at how we build that into the work sessions coming up so that we can be able to touch on those then. Any other questions? Okay, then we will move on from there. And I believe at that point, are there any other board member comments? Okay. And so our upcoming board meeting schedule is we have a study session following this on safety and security update and levy planning. And then our next board meeting, will be held November 5th on 2018 at 5 p.m. And the topic will be facility and levy planning. Sorry, I was confused because I was reading levy planning from before. And then board meeting at 7. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved by Director La Liberty and seconded by Director Carlson that we adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by voting aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.